Hi, I'm John Campbell, and I'm listening. Blind spots are everywhere, no matter how reflective or self-aware you believe yourself to be. There are aspects of your behavior that exist entirely beyond your conscious awareness. Parts of you operate outside of your line of sight. The real question is, what are those unseen parts costing you? Self-awareness is limited, not because of a lack of intelligence. These limits are structural. They're built into how your mind formed and adapted over time. Certain truths about you were never meant to be fully visible. They were designed to stay concealed from others, and importantly, from you. Think back to the last time someone offered feedback that really hit a nerve, not because it was harsh, but because beneath your immediate defensiveness, something about it felt uncomfortably accurate. Maybe they told you that you become defensive when challenged. Maybe they said you withdraw when emotions intensify. Maybe they said that you appeared angry when questioned about certain subjects. You felt confused, almost offended because you couldn't see what they were referring to. Yet they saw it. They had witnessed it on many occasions, but eventually they stopped mentioning it because it never seemed to land. That internal confusion, that disconnect, is what an internal blind spot feels like. Failing to recognize these insights aren't random glitches in perception. They aren't merely accidents. They are protective mechanisms. Your mind actively shields certain behaviors, patterns, and truths. And it does so intentionally. At some point in your life, fully seeing those things would have felt too painful, too destabilizing, or too threatening to the story you needed to believe about yourself. So your psyche adapted and hid them from normal consciousness. It's easy to observe patterns in other people. The friend who repeatedly chooses emotionally toxic partners. The colleague who takes everything personally. The family member who can't admit shortcomings or mistakes. Yet, insight to our own patterns remain elusive. So why do our deep truths often stay hidden? You've lived inside yourself your entire life. You've never encountered you from the outside. You've never watched yourself enter a room, handle tension, or speak under pressure. All you know is what it feels like internally, and you have probably not noticed that your internal experience often bears little resemblance to the external impact you have on others. You may experience yourself as honest and straightforward, while others experience you as abrasive. You may feel adaptable and open, while others see indecision or passivity. You may believe that you're calm in stressful moments, while others notice tight jaws, clipped responses, and subtle shifts in energy that you don't register at all. This is the space between how you experience yourself and how you're perceived, and within that space lives much of what you don't know about yourself. Another reason why these blind spots persist is that your sense of identity relies on keeping them hidden. Each of us carries a narrative about who we are. This is our formed identity. I'm the honest one. I'm easygoing. I don't need anyone. I'm always dependable. These stories aren't outright false, but they are not exactly true either. They're edited versions of a far more nuanced reality. Anything that threatens our narrative tends to be pushed out of our conscious awareness. If your identity is built around strength, you may miss the ways in which you are quietly unraveling. If you see yourself as kind, you may overlook the resentment beneath your generosity. If you pride yourself on being rational, you may not notice how emotion drives the decisions that you label as logical. This isn't self-deception for its own sake. It's adaptation. When you're young, identity isn't optional. It's protective at the core. It's formed to ensure survival. Consider children who learn early on in life that anger leads to rejection. They quickly discover that expressing this anger is unsafe in their environment, so they suppress it. They smile when they're furious. They fall silent when they want to shout. Over time, they lose conscious access to anger expression altogether. As adults, they might say, "I don't really get angry." Meanwhile, that anger still exists. It just leaks out indirectly, through sarcasm, passive resistance, sudden outbursts, or a low-grade resentment that they cannot name, but a resentment that others can feel. This is not a flaw. It's an adaptation that once served a purpose. Or think of a child who learned that attention came only through performance. By excelling, impressing, or always being on, that child grows into an adult who can't stop striving. Not because they love achievement, but because any let-up in effort makes them feel out of control. They describe themselves as ambitious or driven. Others experience them as relentless, competitive, or exhausting. Someone for whom nothing is ever enough. The achiever can't see this because recognizing this would require confronting the deeper belief beneath it. The belief that their worth depends on their performance. Then there's the mirror effect, and this is where things become uncomfortable. That trait in others that irritates you deeply, the person who always has to be right, the friend who turns every conversation back towards themselves, the partner who emotionally shuts down when things get real. What if the intensity of your reaction isn't just about their responses or behaviors? What if it's because they might be reflecting something you've refused to acknowledge in yourself? Carl Jung referred to this as the shadow, meaning the parts of yourself that you have disowned and projected onto others, so you don't have to acknowledge them. The people who provoke these strong reactions in you are mirrors reflecting back on you. They expose what you have hidden so thoroughly that even you forgot that it was there. This doesn't mean that every annoyance is projection. Sometimes people truly are difficult. But when your response becomes excessive, or when there is a visceral charge or a reaction that feels bigger than the moment, well then this is worth examining. Intense reactions are rarely just about the other person. They're about what's being reflected back at you. The most difficult part isn't accepting that you have blind spots. It's having them exposed. That's why feedback triggers defensiveness. It's not just wounded pride. It's a threat to your identity. It doesn't feel like critique. It feels like an attack on who you believe yourself to be. So how do you access parts of yourself that exist below your conscious awareness? The first step is humility, not the surface level version where you claim openness while silently dismissing anything that challenges your self-image. Real humility means accepting that your view of yourself is inherently incomplete. It means that others may see things you can't because they view you from the outside. The second step involves releasing defensiveness. When feedback stings, pause. Before explaining or justifying, ask yourself whether there is some truth to this feedback and what would it mean if it was accurate. What aspect am I protecting by not seeing it? This pause is important. It's the space where true awareness begins to grow. The third step is pattern recognition. You may not be able to see your blind spots directly, but you can see their consequences. Notice recurring feedback from different people. Observe the same conflicts resurfacing across relationships. Pay attention to the obstacles you keep running into. Repetition is a signal. Patterns point to what hasn't been fully acknowledged. And finally, there's integration. Awareness alone isn't enough. You have to acknowledge and own this as part of your evolution and identity development. Start to make room for the anger you suppressed, the dependency you denied, the fear beneath your confidence, even the insecurity beneath your performance. This isn't about becoming those traits. It's about recognizing them as parts of you rather than exiling them. That's where real change happens. Not through self-correction, but through self-acceptance. Not by pretending you were never fractured, but by no longer needing to hide the injuries. The point is not perfection. You will never fully see yourself. There will always be layers beneath conscious awareness. That isn't failure. It's about being human. Rather than total visibility, the idea lies in widening the window of transparency. Seeing a little more than you did before and allowing in feedback that once would have crushed you.